I guess we will see. WNYC's Arun Venugopal. Arun, thank you for this.
Thank you, Michael.
WNYC is supported by IAE, presenting an evening with David Sedaris at King's Theater on Friday, November 20th, featuring all news stories and observations, audience Q&A, and book signing. Ticket information available at davidsedarisontour.com. Every day, WNYC is working to get closer to New York and to New Yorkers. The underwriting we get from businesses helps power our independence. Learn how your organization can join in at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
It is 6:51. Marketplace Morning Report is next, and then later on Morning Edition, the Trump administration is in a new full-court press to message optimism on the unpopular war in Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says actually combat operations are over.
The operation is over. Epic Fury, as the president notified Congress, we're done with that stage of it.
We'll get the latest in about 15 minutes right here on Morning Edition on WNYC. Low 60s and partly sunny, showers mainly late morning and late afternoon, a high near 72. Windy though, gusts up to the mid-20s. It is 6:52.
Insurers are easing up on prior authorization.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks delivers what's next in cybersecurity innovation to protect today's digital way of life. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com. And by 3 Day Blinds, designing and installing custom window treatments, including motorized options. Online bookings and more at 3dayblinds.com.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore in New York. United Healthcare, the nation's biggest insurer, announced that it's cutting back on its requirements for prior authorization by 30%. Prior authorization is where your doctor orders a medical procedure or a test or a drug, but you can't get it until your insurance company approves it. From the insurer's perspective, it's a way to cut costs and prevent people from getting expensive or unnecessary care. For doctors and patients, it has been a source of massive frustration. United Health isn't the only one to cut back on the requirement, though, and other insurers have been doing this in the past year as well. Marketplace's Samantha Fields has more.
If you have a chronic health condition, you're probably quite familiar with prior authorization. Amy Killalay at Georgetown Center on Health Insurance Reforms has done a lot of research on coverage for diabetes.
And I will say continuous glucose monitors are often, if not predominantly, covered with prior authorization attached to them.
Lots of other durable medical equipment prescribed by a doctor often requires insurer approval too, like insulin pumps and wheelchairs. So do certain surgeries, imaging tests like MRIs, and many prescription drugs and therapies. Kay Pastena at the health policy nonprofit KFF says in polling people with chronic illnesses,
after cost, they say that prior authorization is the biggest administrative hassle they have.
It's also increasingly an issue even for people who don't have a chronic illness. Pastena says that's likely why there's growing pressure for something to change.
It's coming at a time where costs are going up. People are signing up for coverage and then realizing that that's something that they need, the care they need, is not being covered.
Soon, United Healthcare says it will no longer require prior authorization for certain outpatient surgeries and therapies, some diagnostic tests like echocardiograms, and chiropractic care. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. The U.S. and Iran are reportedly close to a deal in markets like that. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 1 to 1.6% range. Dow futures up 498 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury coming down. It's at 4.34%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business. Amazon Business offers smart business buying, which uses AI-driven tools to perform time-consuming procurement tasks, helping to simplify complex processes and streamline workflows. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com. And by GEP. With GEP Key Agentic AI and GEP Smart Software, GEP is at the forefront in agentic procurement orchestration and autonomous supply chains.
As we mentioned, the U.S. and Iran are reportedly back to negotiating and are close to a deal. Axios is reporting the deal would involve a moratorium on nuclear enrichment and an end to sanctions. CNBC is reporting Iran's currently considering the proposal. Meanwhile, inside of Iran, the economy is suffering, with more than 1 million people out of work, food prices spiking, businesses closing, all while the U.S. naval blockade is shrinking Iranian oil exports. For more, we're joined by Javad Salehi Isfahani. He's professor of economics at Virginia Tech. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is Iran's economy like right now?
Well, it's very much an economy at war. There has been considerable destruction of property and factories. Prices are rising very fast because supplies are limited. Inflation last month was over 100%. So nobody is making any plans about the future because of this waiting nature. I think the most important characteristic of the economy is that it is waiting for something to happen.
How much of this uncertainty that you are describing, how much of it is, the actual bombardment of infrastructure? How much of it is the closure of the strait?
Well, the closure of the strait isn't all that important at this time because I think the supplies, those of food, and Iran has other ways of getting food. The land routes has, half a dozen countries border it that can supply Iran with food if it has money. So I don't know how much foreign reserves they have.